that frankly I'm out here sometimes at 12:30 or 1 o'clock trying to deal with, and then that creates problems the next day. This is what happens when you get old. I actually commented to myself just privately last night. I'm like, yeah, I can't, I think I pulled like I don't know, probably a 14-hour work day yesterday. And I was like, I just got to go to bed. Like there's some things that I absolutely need to do. There are some things I want to do, and there are some things I should do, but I got to go to bed. It wasn't late. It was like 8:30. It's like, I got to go to bed. It's like, I can't do a 16-hour, 18-hour day anymore. And I'm going to be honest, I kind of hate that. It sucks. But if I stay up beyond a certain point, then that creates more problems for me the next day, right? Cause I can get up, but I'm going to probably get up late, which means I'm going to push my day back by just that much. I'm going to be annoyed that I got up late, so it's not going to help my mood at all. And then when I get home, I'm definitely going to go straight to bed. So moderation, I guess. Planning. Yeah. So planning, man. Planning to avoid those pitfalls that you know are going to be pitfalls. But it has seriously annoyed me. And I thought about it earlier today. I'm like, man, I don't think I even opened Terminal except the one time, yesterday, when I was on the way to Livingston and I had the laptop and I was trying to figure out, was tethering actually working at the moment or not? So I opened Terminal to ping apple.com. And when I didn't get a ping response, I was like, oh, okay. Well, let me turn Wi-Fi off on the Mac and turn it back on and see if that gets me a connection. And it worked, but it was super slow. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I hate tethering. Apple, if you release this MacBook, even if it has an iPhone chip in it, but it comes with cellular, I will probably just go buy it.
Apple, please wait one more year.
Nope. Well, knowing Apple, yeah, it'll probably be another year. But I mean, listen, you don't have to go buy it immediately, Mike.
No, we'll let others do that.
I will probably go buy it immediately and sell every other thing I got and buy a desktop Mac to go in here and be like, yeah, we're good. And screw this iPad idea. Although you can't write on the MacBook, I guess.
Yet.
No. The closer we get to people speculating about a touchscreen Mac, the less I think I kind of want that.
But do you want the MacBook with the cellular or with the iPhone chip in it?
So, want would be a strong way to put that. My expectation is that they are actually working on this product. It's gonna be probably as thin or thinner, and maybe even lighter than the current MacBook Air, which I actually like. The MacBook Air is actually my favorite computer they've created, probably ever. I mean, I like my MacBook Pro, but it's still heavy.
Mm-hmm.
But just for sheer, just like, yeah, but just for like sheer, like this is a really nice computer. Like the keyboard isn't too small, all of that. Like the MacBook Air M2 and forward is great. I expect this computer to be somewhat like that, probably smaller, a little bit more compact. The keyboard could be questionable. But my expectation is because it's got a iPhone chip in it, or the chips that they use in the iPhones and the iPad Air, like how can you not have a cellular option?
Right.
It's going to cost you $130 or something more than just the base model with just Wi-Fi. But how can you not make that at that point? Because you kind of don't have the excuse, right? You generally have that built in on the package anyway. So like, how could you not do it? And to get around the tethering problems, that I have, I will buy one. It wouldn't be like, hey, I want this. What I would honestly prefer. So I'm very close to having I've made the decision to go back to a desktop Mac as my primary computing device. I haven't pulled the trigger on one yet. Obviously, I'm kind of waiting to see if there's going to be an M5 version of the Mini or an M5 version of the Studio that I might want to get into. But Apple could keep me on the MacBook Pro train if they were to release the M5 MacBook Pro with a cellular option. I would go for it. I would even go up to the size computer that you have, the 16-inch, if I had to get the cellular and have a Pro, because then it's like there's a desktop in my backpack.
It's about the size of a desktop.
Yeah, it's about, no, not quite. I mean, size-wise, weight-wise, it might be heavier than the Mac Mini. I haven't seen the newest Mac Mini yet, actually. Like the new redesigned Mac Mini. I haven't seen the smaller one yet. But you got the power. You can get the power of a desktop computer in a backpack.
Yeah.
Which is still amazing. And there's more ports. I mean, it's 3 USB-C. Still think they should do 4, but, what do I know?
So I am recording in the living room today using the Vocaster into that OWC dock that I have. And it's working fairly okay, actually. I've got the Rode wireless boom, or not wireless, but the Rode boom arm hanging off the side of one of the desks that we have next to the couch. And then the boom arm just comes right in front of my face so I can talk into it while I have my feet up. So it's a pretty good recording setup.
Man, that's nice.
Yeah. Mallory's not home today either. So that means she's not watching TV, because right now I don't think this would work out if she was watching TV.
I mean, no, we get a content well, we're not streaming to YouTube, so there wouldn't be a content violation. But if we were streaming to YouTube, we'd definitely get a content violation, because they hear the show in the background. They're like, oh, we got to take that down. Shut them down. No, that's a cool setup. My question to you is, how much rearranging or creating of virtual devices did you have to do?
None.
Actually, none, because we're using Zoom.
Well, none for me, because remember, I was using the Vocaster in the garage too.
Oh yeah, that was the ultimate. Yeah, that's right. That was the audio interface.
I did try the P6. No, that's not right. H6E.
Yeah.
And the USB cable, at least that I had, I think was the problem, because it kept giving me very choppy audio. So I will explore that again further. But right now, the Vocaster is working well. And I didn't have to reconfigure any devices. And the reason we're streaming into Clubhouse is because I have to stream into Clubhouse tomorrow for work. So I wanted to make sure that everything was working fine.
Oh, cool. Well, shout out to hello, Clubhouse.
Since when did Google email you and tell you when there are suspicious logins in your domain?
Whenever there's suspicious logins in your domain. Although there shouldn't be suspicious logins in your domain, because you're the only person.
No, this is a different domain name.
Okay. Yeah. So that's absolutely why you got it. And if you're admin on a workspace account, or an admin on a workspace account has also said, send this person, alert emails, you would get those.
Yeah. Looks like it's a different device than normal. So
that's
that makes
probably
sense.
What it is. Were they in the same place they would normally be in?
I believe this person is typically there, but I will do some investigations and reach out to that individual and make sure that all is good for them.
Yeah, definitely want to do that. And use passkeys.
Yes. Come on, people. Use passkeys more.
I think in a lot of cases with passkeys, we're there in some ways, and in some ways we're not. Because I have passkeys set up for both my Amazon accounts, actually. But you sign in with a passkey, and it still wants your your second factor 6-digit code. And I'm like, this makes no sense. And I think I brought this up before. And what I really should do is go disable 2-factor. But I just hadn't gotten around to it. Kind of because when it's probably obvious how to get there, but off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you how to go get there. So that's one pain point. And 2, I generally only go to Amazon when I need to go do something in Amazon, which means either I'm trying to figure out, like, what the hell did I just buy? Or what did you just charge me for? Or, yeah, I need to put in this order for something and then I'm out of there. So, but yeah, we got a few weird situations like that. PayPal, strangely enough, will work on mobile, but doesn't want to work on the desktop browsers for passkeys, which is weird.
That is weird.
But Google is rock solid, man.
Yeah.
Like I set the kids up, I had to set the kids up Google accounts, cause I bought it. Well, right now we're still in the trial period of YouTube Premium. But I think it's one of those things that since I started, I'm going to have to keep it because they're watching a ton of YouTube, with no ads. But in order to set up their accounts, I had to download the Family Link app. Have you gone through this at all?
Setting up a family account for YouTube?
Yeah.
No.
All right. So I already had the Google Family account set up, but in order to add the kids, I had to go through Family Link, which is an app you download on iOS or Android. And you say, I want to add a person or add a child. And then they ask you a few bits of information. First name is required. Last name is optional. And then you get to a point where you put in their age, or what you want YouTube to think their age is or Google to think their age is. And then you get to a point where you have to create them an email account. Because it asks you when you start, does your child have a Google account? And my first, I was going to hit yes, but then there's a little note that's like, they must have an an account ending in @gmail.com. And I was like, you sons of, because I was just going to create them a Google account because Mike told me years ago, and I did not know this, that you could just create a Google account with any random email address. So like ever since you told me that, I've used that in a lot of cases where I didn't need Gmail. I just needed the Google account.
Yeah.
So that was going to be my plan. I was like, oh yeah, I'll just use their iCloud email addresses and make them Google accounts. It was like, nope, can't do it that way. They got to have it @gmail.com. I was like, all right. So they got some random gibberish, @gmail.com. Random gibberish because I didn't even create it. Like Google just created some random stuff with numbers and letters in it. I was like, okay, whatever. So created their accounts. Installed YouTube on their devices. I was going to do YouTube Kids, and I was like, no, let's just do YouTube because it does give you some controls to say, well, I only want them to watch content up to this age, yada, yada, yada. I was like, well, there's probably a wider variety of stuff on YouTube, available in YouTube that I won't have to painstakingly like, oh no, they can watch that video. They can watch that video. I was like, let's just make it easier, in this case and see how well Google's age gating is as far as what content they're allowed to see. You sign the kid into YouTube, and when you sign them into YouTube for the first time, you're signing them into their Google account, and it's like, oh, would you like to create a passkey? I was like, hell yes.
Yep.
Boom. Save it to the iCloud Passwords app. Yep, we're going to do that, and then we're good.
Now, can you save that to a family, like a shared vault in iCloud, and then you would be able to log into their account if you needed to?
Absolutely. That's actually what I did. So a few more steps here. So when I created the Google account, you got to when you're creating the account, you don't get the option to do a passkey, which makes sense. But to create their password, I went to the Passwords app on my phone, generated their password, and basically created a new item and added it to a shared vault. What does Apple actually call theirs?
I don't know what they call it. I think they just say shared.
Group or whatever it is. Anyway, I added to a shared thing. So that way I could share it with them. So when I got ready to log in on their device, I didn't have to figure out, like, do I text the password? Whatever. So just used to log in with passwords. And it was like, oh, would you like to do a passkey? I was like, yes. And then it just updated the login that was in the shared group to have the passkey attached to it. So yeah, I could sign in from, it would actually be a little more involved because I don't have passwords activated on any of my devices as a place. So I will have to go turn it on. But yeah, I can sign into their Google accounts, I would imagine, with the passkey because it's syncing across.
Right.
Which is a whole nother story because I'm looking at transitioning the entire family to passwords. One, because the kids are using passwords now. So I'll start teaching them that. And it'll just be easier if we have like the Disney Plus login or whatever, just in that shared space, which means it makes sense for the whole family to be inside of passwords instead of one password where me and Tia are. And it's like, man, but I don't have an objection to doing this because everybody's on Apple devices, and I don't foresee a scenario where anybody's going to be off Apple devices, to where it's going to be a problem for them like it could be for me. But the issue I have is, for me personally, if I turn on passwords on my Mac, it's already difficult enough to stop. Well, you can't stop it. It's difficult enough dealing with, I'm on a website and it wants a passkey, and like there's going to be a little frame at the bottom of this window where one password is going to be like, yeah, here's your passkey. Do you want to use that? And you hit continue. Well, macOS is determined that it's going to pop up and be like, hey, you can save your passkeys and stuff in passwords. Here's settings or cancel. It's like, no, I don't want to do that. Or no, cancel other options or settings. And the other options doesn't give you an option to use one password as your passkey manager. It's like, oh, do you want to use a security key or do you want to scan this code? It's like, I don't want to do either one of these things. I just want to use the app that I use. So I'm terrified of turning it on the Mac. On iOS, it doesn't get in your way if it's not on. If it's on, I can imagine it's going to be kind of like macOS. So I don't know what to do about that. I'll report back and let you know how it works out, because I have to turn it on at some point. Otherwise, I won't be able to log into something.
I have been using passkeys for quite a few things. Wherever I can use them, I'm using them.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I've gotten to be. Like, if I can use it somewhere, I'm going to use it. I generally have the majority of mine are in one password. In a few scenarios, my Google account being one, there's a couple other accounts where I have passkeys where I also have those have a second passkey stored on a USB key. But most of mine are in one password. Question, Mike, did you happen to look at the email, or did you set up the email account first? Because I purposely didn't forward you an email because I was like, well, you'll see it when he sets up the email account.
You know I did not.
Okay. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to table the feedback that I said I was going to get to this week because one, I want Mike to see the emails, and I didn't forward them to him because I thought he might get around to setting up the account, because he was like, hey, I logged in and I can't see the thing. And I was like, yeah, because you got to do it this way. And I sent him the information. I was like, we'll see if Mike does it. I kind of figured you hadn't, because there was an email that came in that I'm only going to very vaguely reference on the show, and we may not even be able to read it on the show because I hadn't read the whole email. I just started reading it and I was like, oh, okay, I appreciate the feedback. And then it got down to a point where I stopped reading because I was like, oh no, like, I don't know where this is going to go, but I don't want to read it right now. So I marked it as unread so I don't forget about it.
Oh.
I won't mention anybody's name, for sure, but Mike needs to log in to see, and I haven't read the rest of the email. The beginning of the email is very complimentary to us. It says, this person likes the show. They have on occasion like listened and then stopped listening for a couple of weeks, and then they come back and now they kind of listen every week. So appreciate that feedback. Unnamed person. I did see that. I stopped at the point where they were going to tell me how they felt about a thing. And that's all I'll say.
Okay.
So the person who sent this feedback knows what they wrote. I have not read that part of your email yet, but I want Mike to read that part of your email, and then we'll figure out once we finish reading everything, whether or not we can comment about. Well, I know this part where they're going to tell us how they felt about a thing. We can't say that. But I haven't read that part yet.
Okay.
And that is very vague. And I think when Mike sees it, he'll know why I'm being so vague. Unfortunately, listener, I'm sorry, but sometimes people send us things that we really can't repeat. And I don't even know what they said, but I feel like from the way it started, let me really tell you how I feel about this. It was like, boy. Hold on. Don't read that right now. I got invoices to pay and stuff, and I might get sidetracked, and then I'll call Mike and tell Mike about it, and then we'll have a whole conversation. I was like, nope, not doing this today.
Nope. All right, so I need to set it up as an other mail account. And then I'm putting this in here, like that said to do.
And listen, first email right now in the inbox. So when you set it up, since you're setting it up right this second on the show, don't read out, oh, we got an email from, don't. But you, and I'll say this, well, you know what? I'm done talking about the email because you'll see it in a second and then you'll know what I know. You might know more than I know because you're probably going to read the entire email. And I'll say one more thing about the email for the listener who submitted this feedback. Again, appreciate your kind words about us. I didn't stop reading your email at the point that you were going to, give us the business on how you felt about a thing. But I knew it would probably, it started off like just that phrase of how you put that was like, oh, this is going to get kind of, this might get ugly. I don't know. But however it goes, I feel like it's going to be a thing I'm going to call and tell Mike about. And then we'll end up going around and around. And then an hour later, he'll be like, man, I got to go back and do this thing. I'm like, yeah, I should have left here like 2 hours ago. So that's why I stopped reading because I had work to do.
Was this one sent on the 6th?
Yep.
Okay.
You know the person who said it.
Yep. I know this person. Yep.
Also, I'm surprised this person listens. Like, that was fun to read the subject line with the name. Like, oh, I didn't know that person listened to my show. I'm happy. Thank you. Yeah,
they've told me they listen. So I knew that, but I have not read this feedback. So now I'm listening to it. So what is your experience with Claude, not Claude Code?
So by that, you're meaning either Claude the web interface or Claude the app.
Exactly.
And I would say I don't use Claude the app at all, because it is really rough, or was really rough. I'm speaking from months ago experience, but I doubt it's gotten any better. Claude on the web it's not the most difficult LLM chat interface that I've used. But if I'm going to be in the web, I'll put it to you this way. Simple, more simplified answer. They get straight to the point. I will go to chat.com or start typing Gemini before I even think of Claude, even if I feel like the thing that I'm about to do, Claude might be better at doing it. Mike is distracted reading this email.
I am slightly distracted. Not in a bad way, but slightly distracted. I'm like, I will tell you, I really appreciate the fact you can tap the control key on the Mac and it pauses. It does not stop speech playback.
It pauses.
It pauses.
And that's something you don't realize sometimes until you tap it again. Like I kind of forget that occasionally, and then I'll tap and it's like, oh, yeah, that's a thing.
Someone complimented my ability to read Treasures Report on the fly, and they're like, how do you do it? Do you use a Braille display? And I'm like, well, I have one here, but in this instance, I just read it from VoiceOver telling me what was being said. And often what would happen is I would set my VoiceOver speech to 55% and then use that pause functionality if VoiceOver started to get a little further than my brain was as I was saying things out loud. And that control keystroke is amazing when you remember what it's doing.
Yep. When you remember what it's doing. But yeah, I've not found Claude's interface to on the web to be great in the past. And I couldn't tell you when the last time was I actually looked at it. I have had thoughts of, and I haven't played with this yet. I do have it set up on the Mac Mini. But is it LM Studio or LLM Studio, whatever it's called. But there is you generally can use this for running local models, but there's also a way to connect, and I may be naming the wrong app, so I will try to find the app and I'll whisper it into the darkness in the bottle, tweet a link out or post a link out.
Whispered into the bot's ear, and then that gets a little weird. So,
hold on one second. Oh, Zoom Clips is trying to connect to the internet. Why Zoom? Okay, I guess I'll allow that because I might use it to make some clips or something. Oh, that's interesting. So you open this email, right? And I'm not, I know people are probably like, well, she just shut the hell up about this email. But because this is a shared mailbox, when Mike opened the email, it's now marked red for me.
Yeah. And now I'm reading the other one from the other person that you were supposed to forward to me.
Yeah. Well, I didn't forward that one because you were supposed to read it. But there is a app that you can install, and it's available for Mac OS and Windows, and I think Linux as well, that you can use to connect to a local LLM and kind of give you a web interface to your local models that you're running. But you can also plug in an API key for, Claude, Gemini, OpenAI, etc., and use it that way. And I've thought about possibly doing that to use Claude a bit more in a webby interface, because they now have Claude code in the web. And as much as I am an old person that likes the terminal, there are sometimes when you're doing certain types of things in the terminal where there's a ton of output that you need to read back over. It becomes less fun to navigate that. And no, I have not looked at iTerm as of yet, because I don't want to install something new. Like, I just want to use the crap that's on my Mac. Plus, I got to set up a new Mac, and I don't even want to do that. So what I'm saying is, if somebody wants to come to my house and transfer the proper data to this new Mac for me and install all the homebrew stuff and configure all of my paths and do all of that crap for me, I got $20.
Oh. So I read the email, and I appreciate it. I don't know how to acknowledge it, but I will say I'm glad 95 out of 100 times the show just gets deleted, because that means that we are creating some unique content which doesn't directly relate to what everyone wants, but we're still giving a little bit of content for a wider audience that might be interested in what we have to share. And our show, we both knew this, is not a show for everyone. But I will say, I really appreciate the fact that people are sending us feedback, because this is good to be aware of. And thank you.
You're addressing the second email.
Yeah. The one left last year. That's weird to say.
Oh, yeah, because that was last year. Okay. Man, that kind of threw me the hell off. Yeah, so for that feedback, like, I appreciated it as well. I can understand where you're coming from. I'm going to repeat a thing I said a couple of weeks back that may have prompted, I think it did actually prompt you to send this feedback when we would comment on feedback that was left on the podcast page, which is, you're in the wrong place if what you're looking for consistently week in, week out is help doing something because as a blind person, or looking for everything to be blindness focused. This show was created. We ended our previous show, and we knew that we wanted to continue podcasting. It's just that show had gotten kind of to be a real mess of scheduling, etc. So we said, well, we'll get to 100. We'll end that show. Me and Mike still wanted to do a podcast. We'd also tried off and on to do podcasts with other people, but it never worked out. Cause I don't know. But anyway, we knew we wanted to do a show, but we also knew that we needed to have a more focused show than us just showing up to talk about tech. And oftentimes people who have listened to the old show, shout out to Marty. I can tell you I heard from Marty, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That sometimes, it does sound like the old show a little bit, because we're just over here talking about the tools we're using, or things we've tried out, or whatever, or things we're interested in that have just been announced that, oh man, I forgot to do my intro, cause Zoom threw me off. I'll do it at the end. You'll have to move it to the front. But it was supposed to, no, it's not going to work now. Anyway, yeah, cause it was meant to catch you off guard also and see what your reaction was going to be. So I can't just do it. I was going to say live from CES. And like, oh, wait,
there's no background noise.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
well, look, man, I got a really high directional microphone.
Yeah. High directional microphone and exclusive internet. Cause I don't know if you heard some of Tom's content, but he was cutting out there for a little bit.
But we knew that we wanted to continue to do a show. And the premise for this show, even before we had a title, was that what we were going to try to focus on, and this came about from conversations that me and Mike had amongst ourselves. I'm going to say that I said, I'm not going to repeat a lot of what Mike said because I don't want to speak for Mike. I'll let Mike say what he wants to say about it. But I had realized, and these are conversations I had with Mike to kind of help pull this out a little bit, that when it came to training, for example, like both of us have at different times in our lives been assistive technology instructors of some sort on some devices of, with screen readers and braille displays and et cetera. I've done a lot of Apple. I've done a lot of Windows and JAWS. I've done a lot of Windows and, oh man, I always forget the name of it, but that's really where I got started at was,
Windows?
No, I'm not that old. The Tech product, what was it called?
System Access.
Yes. So JAWS and then System Access came out shortly after I started doing, some JAWS instruction, and I taught a ton of people on System Access that were, at that point in their life where they wanted to use a computer. Computers, online stuff was happening. You could buy stuff on Walmart.com and have it show up at your house or whatever and all this crap. And people wanted to do that, but they also didn't have the money to pay for JAWS, and they weren't working in a place where they could get that. But both of us have served as AT instructors at different points at different times in our lives, and we keep, for some reason gravitating back towards that in a lot of ways. And one thing that I realized in talking to Mike is like one of my resistances to getting back into that field, because I literally turned down an opportunity to take a job doing that about, I don't know, it was before might have been before you started working for JJ. It was before the pandemic. For sure. Shortly after I moved to Alabama, in between the time me moving to Alabama in 2017 and I would say maybe a year or so before the pandemic. So sometime 2017-ish to 2019. And I turned down that job. I didn't go apply for it. I didn't follow through on it. I told the person, I was like, I got, this thing I'm trying to do over here. I'm cool. And the reason being for me, and I realized this in talking with Mike, is that, I personally enjoy the process of teaching people stuff more when we're on a professional level. Like I've reached that point in my life. It's not any judgment about people that are just starting, that are just learning the technology or just figuring it out. There is a joy to teaching a person something and getting them around a corner that they were stuck on. I've been there. It is truly fun. But unlike, RIP to John Panarese, John loved teaching people when they were first sitting down with the Mac for the very first time and didn't know anything about anything. He loved it. I was like, John, you send me your people once you taught them how to use VoiceOver and they come back and they're like, man, I really don't understand how in the hell to use Google Apps and Chrome on the Mac. Like, I got you all day, John. If you don't want to deal with that, you send them my way.
Yeah.
When they show up and they're like, I keep getting stuck in this window. I'm like, here's John Panarese's number. And again, it's not this. I really don't want anybody to take this out of context. I don't look down on those people. I'm not making judgments because they're beginners. It's just, what do I enjoy doing and what don't I enjoy doing? It can oftentimes be more frustrating to me, and which trickles over to being frustrating to the student, because, and a lot of this honestly is not even just where people are, is dealing with certain types of students that are in that phase that has kind of driven me away from it. It's because I'm very easily annoyed. I'm a crotchety person. So it's sort of like when you choose not to take a job, not because you don't think the job is worthwhile, but you know that there are certain types of people you will have to deal with. And just to avoid dealing with those types of people, you'll just not do the job altogether. And for me, it's those people who are learning something and you're being, as an instructor, you're being paid reasonable money, by the state or some agency to teach this person how to use their device. And they are on your fucking nerves 20 every 5 minutes. Well, can I go to Facebook now? How do I do Facebook? I want to know how to send messages in Facebook. How do I post a video to YouTube? Will you shut the fuck up because you can't even unlock your phone?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have had too many of those to want to be on that end of it. Now, if it's teaching a person that's like, and I've had students that were amazing. Like I love teaching. I could understand completely why John loved what he did. I can understand why you sometimes love that aspect of teaching, because you really get a person that starts out with this Mac that they've never touched, or this iPad, and they're like, I don't understand how any of this is going to work. And, 2 or 3 sessions in, and they're, you come back for the 4th session, like they've explored. They're like, wait, I was doing this, but then I got lost. And it's like, hey, but you were doing a thing by yourself that we didn't even talk about. All right, let's go. What are we doing? Let's get this figured out, because you were almost there. I love that part of it. But because I know how the world is, I'm going to encounter that person that, despite any training whatsoever, they can get their ass on YouTube or Facebook and post some comments and be messy on the internet. But you're like, hey, I want you to open the phone app and we're going to create a new contact. How do I find phone? What the hell do you mean? How do you find phone?
Right.
Are you serious right now?
It can get frustrating. Definitely
it can be frustrating.
Especially when you see, I think the hardest part is when I see the potential in the individual and you get the impression that they want to learn this stuff, and then you realize that they're not actually trying. That can be frustrating. Pretty bad.
That can be frustrating too. Like when you know they have the ability to do it. But what's more frustrating to me is that on your own time, you're figured out how to get on Facebook, or how to, and you that part you got figured out, right? You're sending me friend requests on Facebook, but you can't open the phone app and make a phone call without using Siri. Like, cause Siri ain't get you the Facebook app, and Siri definitely ain't get you signed into the Facebook app. Now, maybe you got a friend to help you actually sign in, but Siri ain't helping you post to Facebook and send friend requests. And again, for me, because I'm the type of individual I am, and I know that that's super annoying to me, and I know that I can spend less frustrating time working with a person that's already knows these skills, and what they're trying to master is how do I become more productive or more efficient at the things that I do on my device. They're ready to learn shortcuts now. They're ready. I mean, keyboard shortcuts, not shortcuts to app, because man, shortcuts is a pile of crap on the Mac.
That's where he stops himself. Man, I left you enough space to beep it out. It's okay.
But that really got up under my skin, dude. Like, I can't tell you how many students I had. Like, and the thing is, like, we got a limited time to make this work. And like, you're on Facebook and you're asking me constantly about Facebook crap. And it's like, but you can't do the things that you're supposed to do. Right? You're not even working on that. But anyway, that being beside the point, I found it better for me when I had a choice to work with the people that were like, oh, I know how to use my computer. The basics. I can navigate with the screen reader. I can go to the web. How do I become more efficient though? Because like it's taking me too long. I want to know if I can be faster, or, help me become more efficient at using, Microsoft Word, which I stopped doing Word when they got to, I don't know, whatever the version was. I did the first ribbon year, but when they did the next update, it didn't change the ribbon. I was like, all right, I'm done with that. But again, I want to be clear here. What I'm stating is my personal preference for the type of people I would like to work, or the type of, I would say the level of people, the experience level of people that I would prefer to work with as I got later into my career doing this. This is not meant to be an indictment on people, except those who, act like they can't, attach something to an email, but they can get on Facebook and be all in everybody else's business and posting all about that. Those people, yes, I am indicting you. I don't care. You ain't gotta listen to my show no more. But for the people out there that are AT instructors, like it's not meant to belittle students at all and where they are in their journey. It's just, it's again, like being customer service. Some people won't take a customer service job working behind the desk, at Walmart, or they won't take like I will not take a customer service job. Things have to be really bad, really, really bad for me to take a customer service job, for phone customer support at somewhere like AT&T or Comcast or something like that, right? Cause you're going to get cursed out. Like everybody that calls is not going to curse you out, but you're going to get cursed out. And it ain't going to be nothing that was your fault. Sometimes it might even be their fault, but they're going to curse you out. And I only got so much patience for the cursing out. But at any rate, going back to the show. So during these conversations, I was like, well, Mike, why don't we kind of do a show where we're talking more about, because Mike, we always talk about tech. Like we can talk about food though. We talk about food, like me and Mike's conversations that we have privately a lot, which is why we've gotten feedback from people. It's like I just dropped into the middle of conversations, with friends. It's like, oh, my friends are here and they're talking about this thing. And like, I might understand some of what they're talking about, and I don't understand the rest of what they're talking about. And that's because that's how me and Mike talk on the phone. We talk about cooking. We talk about food. We talk about life. We talk about, people buying things that they shouldn't, or buy too much of a thing that they shouldn't have started buying in the first place. It's all kinds of stuff. But the idea was, and that I realize is, and Mike realized, I think, is that we're always talking about tech, but we're also talking about our lives. So let's shape that into a show where we're bringing all of that stuff together, because for me, that makes up my life. The love of technology, the use of technology, the interest in trying to use technology to make things work better for me, work better for people around me, to give me back time in the day because the technology makes it quicker, or the technology can hopefully just go do it and I don't have to worry about it. But also, sometimes life is in the way of business. It's like, oh, I had to take off, and like, I didn't start working one day till 11:30. Why? Because my kid had a thing going on at his school. He was in the spelling bee. I went to the kid's spelling bee. And because I'm not rude, most times, so I try not to be rude in social situations. I didn't get up and leave once my son was disqualified from the spelling bee. Cause we were sitting in the front row too. So it would have been really rude, because the kids see you leaving. They're like, that's mean. You don't be mean to the kids. So I sat there for the whole time till it was over. He was probably fifth or sixth. So I think there were either 5 or 6 kids left when he fell out. And then they rapidly got rid of the next few that were left, and it was down to 2. And like, man, they went back and forth because they kept misspelling their words. So whenever one of them had an opportunity to finish it out, they would misspell their words. So like, man, they went on. And I was like, geez, at some point you got to call it, right? Like, it's getting to be like an 18-inning baseball game or something. Like, what's going on? But I'm taking all that around to say that we didn't build this show to be like, we're going to talk about the latest things that have been released in the blindness world that may be cool, or to, walk you through how to use PickyBot. I don't even think we talked about PickyBot on the show. I don't remember, but I don't think we did.
But there's other resources out there that can provide that.
There's absolutely other sources out there. And we try to, we mention some of those shows. We mention Double Tap more than most, generally because we've probably been talking to those fellas at some point, or one of us, mostly Mike. Not that I'm, upset about it at all, but, mostly Mike is on that show, quite a bit. Somebody wants to take a vacation. Oh, we're going to call in Mickey B. Yeah. Okay. All right. I got you.
They hid Demasi on the extra show. It wasn't even the main show.
Yeah. Like, I didn't even get in the main feed. Like, oh, you got to go find the whole second, but I'm not bitter at all. It's okay. Mike ain't got to be rubbing it in either. And anytime somebody, now, if you have feedback, and again, I appreciate the feedback from this person, maybe our show isn't the show for you to listen to, or maybe the content that we're going to cover isn't the stuff for you to cover. Because lately we've been on a kick with, how are you using this tool to do this? Or Mike is going through how he built a thing. And listen, I'm not going to go make a builder tool because Mike told me how he made a builder tool, because I don't need to make a builder tool. So as a listener, I can empathize with the fact that, hey, I don't need any of that crap that Mike just told me about his builder tool, right? I mean, I'm interested in it, but I'm saying, like, I get where you're coming from of like, I'm not trying to do that. But the takeaway for me would be, because the takeaway for me is, oh, Mike was using mostly AI, to build a thing to solve a problem for himself. So if I didn't already have that in my mind, well, hey, this is a potential use for AI. Now, because I'm already thinking along those lines, I don't have to make that connection. But that is the type of connection that I would hope people would make from these conversations is, oh, I don't even half-ass understand what he just said. But what I take away from it is he used AI to build a thing that otherwise he wouldn't have been able to build. So there may be some use for this thing. Maybe I should start poking at it, see what I can do with it. How can it help me? Could it do a thing for me? Whether it's on my 9-to-5 job or my 8-to-4 job or my 24/7 job that I can never get away from. Or is it just, hey, it's just a fun thing around my house I want to do, and maybe AI can help me figure out how to wire that up. Figuratively speaking, like hooking up this device to that device to do a thing, not actually messing with no wires. I do not condone you following the LLM's instructions to wire up anything. Do that at your own risk. And I'm stating this again, and I'm not beating up on the person, and I don't recall if they said we could use your name or not, so we're not going to mention their name. So I say this for anybody that has that similar type of feedback that, you know, you check into the show, you're like, nope, hasn't changed. The show will evolve as it has continued to evolve. But at the same time, this is kind of meant to be an example to people who are living chaotic lives where they're trying to put stuff together. Some weeks we show up and I literally have a list of show notes. Do I have them this week? No.
Other weeks we get to the end and we're like, oh, we meant to talk about that.
We ain't talk about none of the stuff that we said we was going to talk about right before we got on the show. But at any rate, we appreciate you listening. Hopefully you check back in at another time and things are, you know, there's a conversation that you enjoy. You know, that's all I can say. Keep checking
the show notes like you said you do.
Yeah, so. That'll help determine what, I mean, listen, I have shows like that too, to be honest. Like I'm not upset with you at all. There are shows I absolutely look at the title or I will look at the show notes. I'm like, oh, they talk, nope, skip that one, skip that.
Not enough for you
that
today.
That sounds like a good conversation. I mean, honestly, I have mentioned Decoder on here a couple of times. I don't listen to every Decoder episode, even though I now get them ad free, which is awesome. But I still kind of pick and choose what I want to hear. There's some people like, nope, don't really care what that person has to say. And it's not that they're talking to bad people. It's like, I don't care. Twit. Oh my God. Man. Also because it's so long.
So Daily Tech News Show this week had some interesting things. Speaking of a show that sometimes I pick and choose, I listen to most of that.
There you go. There's another. Well, I listen to most of them now that they changed the format. Like I didn't listen to as many when they were all live shows, like every day. Like I didn't do all of those, but I think I do actually like this new format. Live from CES.
Yes, live from CES.
We're here.
Guy who created the Global Accessibility Awareness Day, Joel, I forget his last name.
I forget his last name. I heard that.
Yeah. I wanted to say Dotson, but that's not right. That's from Bets. Anyways, so he was on with Tom today talking. Well, actually, I think it was last night. I don't know. Their publication cadence is a little off.
It's really weird because they're at CES.
Yeah. But he was talking about the ranking of accessibility with code generated specifically by AI. And I thought it was very interesting, kind of like what he was thinking, that it was interesting that OpenAI's ChatGPT models, the top 4 were OpenAI ChatGPT models based on a ranking that they put together to rank the accessibility of code that is produced by LLMs. Claude Code was about middle of the range, like 10 out of 20, 10 to 12 out of 20. But Google, like Gemini, was the worst out of the bunch. And he's like, I don't understand if they tapped into some of the accessibility tools that they had or the feedback that they've put in for developers to produce more accessible experiences, then maybe their code would be more accessible. But I thought that was really interesting about the different rankings of things. I will say I kind of agree with I agree with what I have experienced from ChatGPT. I don't have enough experience with Claude, although I've almost been convinced to play with Claude Code a little bit because I just want to see what the experience is like. And I've been playing with Pod Sonnet, I think is which one it is. One of them that's 3x your premium request on GitHub Copilot. So like, yeah, maybe I should play with Claude Code, but it's another $20 a year. I mean, a month. I'd pay if it was $20 a year, $20 a month.
Yeah, I would, I can't say I agree with that, and I don't disagree with it, but I can't say I've seen similar, because with me, with Claude Code, I've had it writing, PHP or JavaScript or something. Like, it's not really front end output. HTML that I've had written, I think I may have had Claude do a little bit of that, but usually it's me just hopping in ChatGPT and like, hey, I need a HTML page that does XYZ, blah, blah, blah. I also can't be a fair judge of that either, because I generally have prompted it to make sure that your, any front end code is, accessibility compliant. There's a better way to say that. I'm sorry, people. But it's compliant and it's accessible, with reasonable heading markups and ARIA and yada, yada, yada. So I'm giving it these instructions before it even begins. And, I don't think they did any of this. Their stuff was just purely just straight prompts without any cues for accessibility at all. I would say I'm not as surprised that I'm somewhat surprised Gemini was as low as it was. I'm not surprised that they don't seem to have tapped into Lighthouse, which is one of their web tools for page ranking, page speed, as well as accessibility. Lighthouse has a ton of tools in it. And one reason I'm not surprised by that outcome is it doesn't surprise me Google didn't tap into Lighthouse and other tools and feedback and et cetera at their disposal, because I still think Google is trying to dial more towards we don't want to freak people out with how much we can do and how much we do know with our chat, with our LLM. So we're going to dial it back and we're going to dumb it down a little bit, or we're not going to connect it to all the things that we could connect it to in order to make it better. Which, on the one hand, for a couple of years, like we said, like, I don't understand why Google's thing is so stupid. Like, they have all this data and they're not using it. On the other hand, you have to really applaud the fact that they don't seem to have used or leveraged as much as they could leverage. And they are now, Gemini 3 came out and it was amazing. Like it really is a change. Like I use Gemini a ton nowadays, where you would have to remind me that it was a thing and give me a reason to go try it. And it's like, oh, well, it just came out with 2.5. Okay, I'll go look at it. Nope, done. Back to ChatGPT. I'll try Claude in the interface. I'll try Perplexity. I ain't messing with Gemini. So I think we have to kind of look at that from a perspective. Yeah, it's bad that they're ranking as low, but again, think about if you're doing this yourself personally, you're gonna prompt it for accessible output, right? Accessible HTML markup, or for if you're trying to have it build a web interface with a popover when you click a button. Like you're gonna tell it to make sure, because you're gonna test it, and if it doesn't come out accessible, you're gonna go back and tell it, and then from then on, you're gonna be like, I gotta tell this, dumbass to always make sure that it's accessible. So you're gonna do that every time. So it was an interesting thing that they did. And I was like, I like that. Let's see where that goes. Like, I'm kind of like him. Like, we did this. We have the data. Hopefully this will push the LLM developers to be more forward thinking with their next version of their models, to try to ensure that they're assisting people that are using this for coding assistance, to make their stuff more accessible without being prompted for it, right? Because me and you are going to think about prompting. A lot of people that are using this are going to think about prompting it to make sure its output is accessible. But some people who are not aware of accessibility, or not aware of it, to the level that we would like them to be, it would be great if the tool not only helped you write the code, but also went ahead and took the steps to make sure the output was more accessible. So that's not a thing that you hear about, 3 months later, when you release your MVP product out here and people on the waiting list and they get access to it, then the first thing you get from a few blind people is like, man, I can't even sign into your freaking app, man. Be great, but yeah, your interface is completely inaccessible to a screen reader. And then your product completely falls off the radar. Like Surf. The only reason I can name that product today is because I just recently seen an email in my inbox from Surf about something. And I was like, oh yeah, that was
that's funny.
almost a thing.
I thought about them when they pushed the test flight update. I updated, never tried to open it, so I don't know if they fixed anything. That makes me a bad tester, I think. But
well, yeah, it could. But again, at the same time, like if your app is for me, from my perspective, your app is as broken as it was when it came out. It's still in beta. Granted, it's in beta. So yeah, I should be a better tester because I've done similar to you. I think after I sent them feedback, like I haven't opened it since then. It probably is automatically updated in test flight by itself, but I hadn't opened it. If it's still on my phone, I purged a few things. It might have got deleted. So yeah, in a way I am a bad tester because I'm not helping. I've given you feedback and I haven't checked, but also like I don't have time for that. Like it's not that serious to me. You fix it or you don't fix it. Hopefully when it comes out, it is fixed and, people can enjoy it that are interested in it. To be honest, I never was going to be a Surf user to begin with. Like I'm not their target audience. I mostly just tried to get Mike in there so he could become an influencer on Surf and then he could blow up and make all kinds of, thousands of dollars on social media. And then maybe he would, take me on a cruise or something. Like that would be cool. Like, yeah, you want to go on this cruise, man? I got a cruise and you can come too because I'm buying everybody cruise tickets. And Mike ain't tested the app either. So that plan failed. On to my next free vacation strategy. Speaking of which, if you would like to become a supporter of the show, you can go to technicallyworking.show and click on that supporters link right there. And all tips are very much appreciated. In all seriousness, thank you to all of our current Tip Jar subscribers. We appreciate you very much. But if you want to help me get on the cruise, we need more people to go sign up.
They labeled the Mastodon button.
Oh. Okay.
So I'm signing in right now just to check because maybe it's gotten better.
Maybe not. I kind of forget the whole premise of the app now at this point.
Yeah, I do too. Now I have to get my password out of the password manager and get signed in there. I have to set up 1Password on my Mac one of these days. I will, but
that might be helpful.
I have it installed. I just don't have it configured. Like with my browser, so I still go into my browser and copy passwords out of 1Password, and I need to just set it back up. But I think it's related to some of the bad experiences I had with 1Password X and how annoying it was.
Yeah. So I have. Let's see. I guess for me, so I have it set up in Safari. I do have it set up in Chrome. So when I open Chrome, it's there. I can use it. It's gotten a little better in Chrome, I would say. I wouldn't, it's very iffy in Safari, like usually. So let me try to, for people not using this. So the web-based version of 1Password, you can install generally in Chrome or a Chromium-based browser. I think it also works in Firefox. And you have that in, and let's say you're going to a login, you can down arrow, and what should happen as a screen reader user, you should be able to arrow through your options for filling in that password for that site, and you hit return, and boom, it fills your information in and logs you in. When it first came out, it was horrible. Any edit field you touched on the web, you would get a blue loop. Like, hey, I'm here. I'm 1Password. Blue loop. I'm here, right here. Like you couldn't even freaking type to it. So I think I turned it off at one point. It's gotten way better than that. Like and generally in Chrome, it works. I don't have the extension installed in Helium, which actually has become my day-to-day, general use, Chromium browser. I only go back to Chrome when I need to do something in a specific profile because I don't really want to sign into Google and heal any of my Google accounts at Helium. So like if I have to do something that is directly related to a Google sign in, I'll go to Chrome for that. I'm frankly at the point that I want to give up Safari because it's super annoying that it just doesn't support so much stuff. There's so many times I open a page and it's like, nope, I got to go open this in a Chromium browser because Safari doesn't support this. And it also isn't as fast as I feel like it should be. I still get Safari busy.
That's sad.
Weird crap happening.
Yep.
For some reason, I open Safari windows randomly get open when I click in mail, like in a whole different, what does Apple call it, space? Which is weird. Like for some reason, oh, this is in full screen. And it's like I'm command tabbing and nothing is working. And like, I don't understand what's going on. Or I get out of that window and then I can't get back to the window because it's in a different space and I don't realize that it's in a different space. Like Safari's gotten super weird. I'm going to give you two pieces of advice with 1Password though. If you're on the beta anywhere, try getting off the beta, and just installing if you're on the beta, at all, try just installing the release versions.
Okay.
I'm going to do that when I finish setting up the new Mac. Cause right now I think I do have the beta version. I don't have nightly. I don't have it selected for nightly. I just have the beta installed on the Mac. And there have been some odd occasions where 1Password seems to forget what it's supposed to be doing. Like it works, but like you'll bring it up and then you'll hit return to fill in a login. And it's like, oh, I just randomly quit in the background for no reason. So it's like, what? I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, a few other things at CES that jumped out to me. So to hear the episode, Rob apparently didn't get hands on with the clicks, but he got to see it. I'm super. So you have not listened to the episode with Shannon Morse?
No.
Okay, so that's when that conversation comes up. She seems to have gotten hands on with it, but she didn't quite say that. But she kind of implied it. Like she actually got to touch it.
Right.
I was like, but I'm super interested in the clicks communicator. Like I don't know why.
Because it's something different. It's not just the standard Android / iPhone coming out that you're already familiar with. And because it has a physical keyboard, probably. Or is it the headphone jack?
No, it's not the headphone jack. Actually, that's probably the worst part of it. Is
right?
This
I don't
headphone
even
jack.
have. I mean, I do, but I don't,
It's like,
Surf was that app that you put together your feeds and you can subscribe to like topics.
Oh yeah, you could you would curate stuff and the idea. Yeah, that's why I wanted you in there so you can start building an accessibility.
It's a little clunky still, but it can be done. I can get further. So that was a good thing to bring up to actually get me to go reinstall because it wasn't even on my phone. And I was able to set up an account and get all signed in and everything. Now I'm on the curate your feed and that looks a little clunky. So now I got to take some time to figure out how to clearly explain what it is that I expect to happen.
I wonder if it would almost be useful to just start recording the screen and just like try to navigate the app.
And then drop that into an LLM and make it make sense of the problems that you're facing.
Oh, well, I was just going to say just send them the freaking video. But yeah, that might actually be better.
Yeah, because then you can put it in an email and then offer to send them the video if they want it. But any good tech person tells your team not to open random unsolicited attachments, so maybe not send them a video.
Yeah, man, I mean, Dropbox links tend to be okay, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of that is kind of the weird juxtaposition I'm telling people. Don't click on random links and emails you didn't expect to get. But then at the same time, I'll send somebody a link to a video like, hey, I was having problems with your app and I feel like it's better if I just show you a video. But here's how I am going to obfuscate my way around that right now at this very moment. This is why I might have been a great lawyer. Here's the thing. I'm telling you Michael, don't click on random links from places when you're not expecting to get these links. The key word here is expected. You are a support person or a engineer on a project that is in beta. You should expect to get random links to stuff. And if it looks like it's an okay link, like, I don't know, it's a Dropbox link or a Google Drive link, it's more than likely safe. But also, as a developer, you probably have tools where you can go open this up in a, I don't know, a sandbox browser or something. So like it doesn't touch anything. And if you're not running Windows, I'm not going to say absolutely, but you have less likelihood of opening a link in a browser and then having it take over your computer. Unless you're on Windows, and it's because Windows allows goofy things to happen. So yeah, that's how I'm going to explain that. And that's kind of, I think, my low level expectation sometimes is like, hey, I'm explaining to you what this is as I'm sending it to you. So it's not like I just, it's not like I do the Michael Babcock where I just open up an email from Mike and it's like, it's just a link. And it's like, what the hell does this go to? I don't know. What the hell? Wait, did Mike get hacked? I don't know. Mike, what was his link? Oh, that was a link to this thing. Oh, okay, I'll click it now. So I practice what I preach, even though I'm friends with Mike and I know Mike. But I will call Mike sometimes. Like, Mike, what the hell was this?
What did you send me this time? Well, we are
because what I don't want to happen is for Mike to be like, I didn't send you anything.
Right?
Like, what? Oh,
what are you talking about? Although there has been a couple of times where I'm like, what are you talking about? And then he tells me, and I realize, yeah, I did send that to you.
Before we wrap up, any other CES stuff you've seen?
Not horribly. I was thinking about the robots that can mow your lawn for you. I think those are a lot more attainable than what they might have been in the past. And I was listening to DTNS, I think, today, and someone made a comment about how products are trying not to use AI now because everything else has AI in it. So I thought that was interesting as well.
Man, there was an entire topic we were supposed to cover, and I only just thought about it right now when you said what you said, even though AI has come up before. But we'll get to that next week. I'll put it on the agenda. If you don't have any objections, I'm going to erase that entire document and then just start over.
Go for it.
Because that IMTTT thing, while it was cool, I need to tweak it a little bit because it just appended stuff under stuff that was supposed to stay at the bottom, which is also a problem. So we'll work on that. I would say one of the coolest things that came out that I heard about was actually two things. I don't remember the name of this device. I promise I will find a link to their website and the bot will post it out. And if you email us, I will send you an email with that link for sure if you're interested in this. But what it was like a battery attachment for your wheelchairs. You can make any wheelchair motorized.
I heard references to that, but I haven't listened to that show. But it was like a wheel or something that you attach to your wheelchair.
So it's kind of like a wheel that has a battery that you connect, and you can swap out the battery. I think the battery is supposed to get you up to like 15 miles per charge or something, but you could also swap it out if you're at Disney World or something, for example, and you're just going to be rolling around. But I thought it was cool. Apparently it's super light. I have known people with electric wheelchairs and they're heavy. They're really heavy. So that sounded like something cool that I don't think I was anticipating coming out. So that's a cool new thing. They are going to be expensive right now. I think they're just releasing in France, if I'm not mistaken. And apparently they have all of the clearances there for insurance. We'll see what happens if they come to America, if they're allowed to import them without tariffs, and if our broken medical system will pay for it for people. One point that somebody brought up during that particular show was also they could see this being a rentable thing. So like you're going to an amusement park or you're going to an event like say CES, for example, and you could rent one of these for the day for your regular wheelchair so that you're not tiring yourself out. But that was a cool piece of tech that I heard about that has absolutely nothing to do with me, but I thought it was cool. I like hearing about stuff like that. The other thing that I heard from CES that I'm really excited about, and hopefully it goes somewhere. Apparently they have these out in electric motorcycles that are for sale in the EU right now. They're taking orders from other companies. Solid state batteries. These are supposed to last longer, supposed to charge faster, and be cheaper to make, which could bring down the cost of electric vehicles, which would be awesome if we're able to import said electric vehicles, because who knows what the hell these car companies in the US are doing with their electric vehicles. Everybody seems to be killing their stuff. It's driving me mad. Absolutely mad. Or they want to charge like 3 times the cost of their regular vehicle for their electric vehicle, because, listen, I might have tried to stretch out there and get a loan at some point, maybe 27 or something for a, Escalade, but not at 300,000.
Right.
No, like we're not doing that. And then there's no CarPlay. Yeah, get the hell out of it. Anyway. And then Forrest killed the Lightning.
Aqara released a new lock.
Oh,
I don't know if you've seen that, but they're using UWB, ultra wideband on iOS, and you can walk up to the lock and it will unlock it based on your phone. But it also has a keypad if you want it. I'm not sure if it's physical. And they also have a key, like a physical key you can use in case any of those don't work. But Aqara, you have a lot of Aqara stuff, and that interests me. It is under 270, I think, is what was quoted today. And it is available. It's not one of those coming soon.
Yeah, they tend to release stuff or have it ready to release, or for sale when they kind of announce it. Yeah, I have a car retrofit lock, so that's the one that just goes over the inside part of your door and you keep your same deadbolt outside. And this keypad that came with it is physical. And that the keypad has fingerprint.
Yeah, this has fingerprint too.
It does home key, so you can tap your phone or your watch. It does not have the UWB. And I believe we have some Android phones now that have UWB, available as well. So that is interesting. Unfortunately for them, I do not need to buy a new lock, anytime soon.
I want a smart lock that I can use with my sliding door. That'd be cool. I don't know how that would work, but.
I mean,
according to ChatGPT, I'm absolutely right. That's a great idea for a lock.
Which, given that sometimes when ChatGPT has said something similar to me or other people, yeah, man, it might be the worst idea you ever came up with. Yeah. However, the replacement piece for the lock that I had to tear up to get it out of the door because I didn't read the instructions first, it got here today. So
oh, nice. Did you have to pay for it? Or?
Yeah, I did have to pay for it. Of course I had to pay for it.
Yeah. I don't know if you reached out to him, been like, please help me.
No, I didn't. I just told him, like, I just like, man, listen, this is what happened. And, I didn't follow the instructions. And then they asked me for a picture of the part that I was talking about so they could be certain. And I was like, yep, here it is together the way it's supposed to look. Here it is after I broke it, get it out of the door. So 2 separate parts. And it's like, oh, good news. We have this part that is replaceable. If you want it, verify your address. I'll check the warehouse. When we got in, I'll send your invoice. And it was $50 plus $6 shipping. And I was like, you assholes could have not have charged me for the shipping, but it's okay. Cause I think I'm going to really like my level lock. And I think people are going to be hard pressed to push me off of something that simple, other than a touch keypad, which I didn't buy, but, yeah. At any rate, we are getting into the time, so I think we should wrap it up. Mike tried to wrap it up 20 minutes ago, to be fair, and I didn't let him. Only because I really was mad because I forgot to do my live some CES thing.
And it was only 10 minutes ago. You're good. No problems.
But we want to thank everybody for listening. You can send us email, just like everybody that sent us feedback. And really, thank you for the feedback. Yes. Like good, bad, ugly. I do appreciate it. And to be fair, you may see some changes more toward some of what your feedback has been for those who have had, I would say constructive, critical feedback. I wouldn't say negative feedback. I would say constructive. That one that was on whatchamacallit was more just, I'm just going to try to beat you guys up on it. Yeah, I'm just going to try to beat you guys up on the internet because I can. But this email that we got from a sometimes listener and a frequent show notes reader, we appreciate that because that was actually very constructive. Thank you. And you may see some things incorporated in that, and from what you said. Keep in mind for everybody listening, we're constantly trying to evolve this show and grow, because it's chaotic and we wanted to show you the chaos, and not just act like, oh yeah, we got all our crap together. Cause sometimes you don't.
That other listener appreciates our chaos.
We've gotten a couple of those too. So I'm not sure what that says about you, but thank you for being a listener too. Feedback at technicallyworking.show is how you can email us.
And now I'll finally see them too. It's only been 145 episodes.
So, no, you had it set up very early. And then you had to wipe a computer for some reason. And
that's what it was.
It didn't happen. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, the only reason I've been consistently signed into it is because when I got a new computer or whatever, I'm like, well, Mike isn't signed into it, so I gotta sign into it. Otherwise, I won't see certain things that happen. And I think at some point I was going to see about us switching our public profile email in the podcast directory to that address.
We should do that.
Yeah. So people won't be emailing Mike, when they're like, yeah, your show said a thing and it offended me and I feel like it should be taken off the air. And like, Mike shouldn't have to read that by himself. I should be the one to reply to that email. But that address is feedback@technicallyworking.show. We do truly appreciate everybody's feedback. Hopefully nobody took anything I said offensively because it wasn't meant to be so. You can follow us on Mastodon. He is Payon, Payown, at dragonscave.space. I am Damasi, Damashe, at technically.social. And follow the bot if you're on Mastodon. You really should follow the bot. The bot is TW at technically.social. You can use the hashtag technically working. Quick follow up on the hashtag technically working. We appreciate if you capitalize T and the W. As far as I know, my attempt to send a message across from Mastodon to Threads, didn't do anything. But I also sent it to Rob Dunwood, and one, he's at CES, and two, he's all over the internet. So he may have such a volume of messages and mentions that he just ain't get to it. But we'll see. We do have a listener, or a sometimes listener, I think, that is on Threads that could ping one of us from Threads and be like, hey, I'm just pinging you from Threads to see if this works. So, yeah. Appreciate everybody for listening. This has been episode number
145
of Technically Working. Thank you.
Boom. There we go.
So my plan was when we started, when you, and this is what threw me off. I also forgot to let me go do that right fucking now because I sure as hell forgot to cancel it. And they just billed me yesterday. Clean feed.
Oh.
But I had in my mind like, oh, when Mike comes in and like, we're like, okay, we're getting, everything's situated. Okay, we're going to start recording. All right, everything's good. And I was going to say live from CES and then see what your reaction was going to be, right? Because we're not at CES, but I want to see how I was going to catch you off guard. And then we're like, oh no, actually we're not live from CES, because I think it's over now anyway. And we ain't get enough tip jar subscribers to send us to CES anyhow. But thank you to everybody that is a tip jar subscriber, just in case Mike does something with that clip right there. Shout out to subscriber number 1. I'm saving up your tips until I can go to CES. That's what I'm doing.